Hello and welcome to Tabletop 24. I'm down here again at Manuscript with one of our local players, so Barrie, or as you may know, and we'll get onto that a bit later, Buzz the Bard.
That's right.
One of the Crazy Brew crew down here, and you've hit up some pre-releases this weekend.
Yeah, I did 2 in a row. So I did Kingdom Gaming, run by Adam East, and I came here for the late night one. Yeah, I was so tired. I was so tired.
That's going to be a theme with a lot of the players. There's a lot of people here, but a lot of them this weekend. I think getting
Yeah.
to the end of it, just
I didn't realise how draining 2 pre-releases would be. Trying to make the decks up and then play. Adam won. Adam's one at Kingdom Gaming was really good. He did a draft after the top 8, so that was interesting. I didn't get in that, but it was interesting to watch and see what players were actually pumping for. Whether or not they're going to go for Briar, like most of the players, I suppose, would draft, or just take the ball by the horns and then just see what Lexi can do, because you're going to have the pick of the cards.
Yeah. I think that'll be a time when we speak to Mike potentially. We'll get a bit more on that, because I think that's what he did.
Yeah,
he kind of
indeed,
run away with a bit of Lexi on that. So
Yeah.
that's great. So was there anything that stood out from you from the weekend? Any single card, hero?
I did like playing Briar. I wanted to play Oldhim because I was primarily playing Guardian. And then when I got my sealed packs at Kingdom, I didn't have any blues which cost 3 or more, so that was Oldhim in the bin for that. But I played Briar. I don't normally play Runeblade, but I really did enjoy her. The arcane damage was just brilliant. Inspire Lightning was fantastic. Especially red, you can just go, oh, you're on 3 health. There you go, 1 card, bosh, done. It was brilliant. And with if you can get Stinging Steelblade off, that was an awesome card.
A little bit of a throwback to Dorinthia with that card, and obviously
Yeah,
played.
I don't know why they name them so so similar. You just like
The artwork's even similar, isn't it, on them as well, which I find quite amusing. But was there anything that you mentioned a little bit there, but there's anything that just didn't perform for you this weekend, or was any single card that stood out as a bit of a duff?
Rejuvenate is a duffin. Yeah, for sure. Unless you're going to pair it with Vela Flash to get to get it as an instant, but there's so many more cards that are better than that. It was just, you look at Rejuvenate and you're just like, yeah, it's one of those. You just felt like it was a filler card. Yeah. But knowing that it's trying to get the combinations, that Vela Flash is so good. If you can get if you can fuse it, then you can play any non-attack action as an instant. So after your opponent has defended, you could play an instant like Earth Surge to give it +4 attack or something like that. So you can come completely out of nowhere and just kind of add like a Razor Reflex after they've decided that's it, I'm not defending anymore. Yeah. It was brilliant. It's got some fantastic combos. How that translates into going forward into CC is going to see, really.
Yeah, so we're going on to that then. Obviously, we've got everybody prepping for nationals and meta changes. What do you see going forward? Do you see people sticking with what they know, bringing in some of the class-specific cards from the set, or do you think people will go with the new heroes?
I think it's going to come down to stock. To be fair, it's at the end of October. Mark's got shortages of stock. He can't fulfil everybody. Every store in the UK seems to be the same. So it's definitely going to be who can pull the right cards. We're very lucky at Manuscrew. We will be pulling cards if somebody wants to play a new hero. It'll be like, okay, let's get together as a club. Let's fill you up, and you can go represent him at nationals. But I think a lot of people will be playing older heroes, play what you know, and maybe add a little, a few of the cards that come in. A lot like Dorinthia did when Monarch was out. It pretty much stayed the same, but you might have added Nourish and Emptiness. Yeah. I think that's the way it's going to be fair. Unless you're one of the lucky ones and you've got stock.
Yeah, I think obviously stock's one of the big things, and I know there's a few chase cards in the set that people will be after, and I think Alex is doing a good job of balancing rarity against usefulness overall, but you're still going to want some of those once per turn effects on the legendary equipments that are out there.
Yeah, totally. I'm really interested to see how Oldhim, how he performs. Especially like I said before, I play Bravo. At the minute I'm weighing them up. You know, do I just want to add thump and tear asunder into my Bravo, or shall I go full hold him and, you know, see what he can do?
Freeze everybody out a little bit.
Yeah, especially like some of the turns that we saw in the sealed, some of those turns when you're creating more than one frostbite can be quite crippling. Okay, sealed is a limited format, you know, it is dependent what somebody else can pull, but it's still, you saw the power of the frostbite. Definitely, it was really good.
And then, so I suppose you mentioned power of frostbite, and I've talked about it previously, but with the Rune Blade, you've got no protection against the arcane in this set. So do you think there's an offset with frostbite against arcane? So sort of the Rune Blade got the arcane with no protection, so that it kind of offset.
It's kind of hard to tell, because when in a sealed environment, you can't tailor, because you can't tailor your deck. You can't say go into one elemental power. So if you're playing Oldhim and you just want to go, I'm going to go full on ice, you know, and you're fusing every attack. I mean, he's going to be on fire. Whereas what you found is with the sealed, you might have come in with a couple of fuses, or you might have a really good, ice fuse card, but then you might have drawn into earth. This is the problem with sealed, and you're like, okay, I've got a delay for a turn, or maybe 2 turns, because you've got to arsenal that card. What we did find is, because there isn't much armour, so if you can come in with a big attack, like I got smashed with a Glacial Footsteps for 10, and then that was followed in with Oakenold, followed in for another 7, and I was just like, oh my god, you know.
just piling on that.
I just passed the next 2 turns. That's me done.
Yeah.
You know,
I have to pack up and go home.
That was it was impressive to see. It wasn't impressive being on the receiving end of it, but it was just like flipping heck. He was really good, really good. But the weird thing was, it was because it's been so constructed dominated. When you were playing the limited, like you were looking at your health and going, crikey, I'm back to 20. You know, it's like I take a couple of hits, I'm pretty much dead. Yeah. So it was good. It was a good experience. It was nice to play like a blitz format type. You know.
Yeah. I suppose obviously with the new cards, it makes sense doing that smaller health to kind of get used to everything. You're not having to think, okay, this is going to go on for 50 minutes, and actually I need to think what I do now is going to come back and be important later. You can kind of be a bit more free flowing with what you're doing, and that short health life is punishing, but at the same time, it gives you that bit of extra.
It's getting used to the faster format as well, because with the classic constructed, you can take the time, you can defend, you can build, you know, from the bottom up if you can do that. I personally can't, but but it gives those people the time. Whereas Blitz, you already feel under pressure because you're on 20 when you're so used to being on 40. What's going to be interesting is more the draft and how many people can actually practice doing draft. You know, especially for the nationals coming up. So it's going to be good.
It's going to be, I think, going to be big going into that weekend.
Yeah, totally.
I think that's going to be a great weekend. But it's going to be a bit there. Yeah. So we're going to leave Tales of Aria behind a little bit now, and I mentioned at the beginning, you may know Barry's Baz the Bard. So Barry, got a channel where you've been doing a load of videos and recordings for games going around.
Yeah, I've been very lucky that I've been allowed to record. So I recorded at Boards and Swords in Derbies. Let's get that right. I recorded at Boards and Swords Hobbies in Derby. There we go. You can tell that everything I write out and then just read, because I can't do it off the cuff. So I have to prepare a bit. But I was very fortunate to record there for the Road to Nationals practice, the Road to Nationals top 8. I've recorded a sealed at Adams at Kingdom Gaming. I've recorded the final here. It wasn't a top cut, it was just basically like a King of Swiss, really. So I recorded that. They're being prepped at the minute. Whether or not this video comes out first or mine, I don't know. But, check it out.
Always the way with editing, you never know what's going to go. I've had videos sitting in the camera for a good few weeks, because sometimes just the editing. And me and Barry talk quite a bit about, actually, people may or may not appreciate the length of time that you commit to editing. It's almost 3 times what the video length is.
I mean, I've had trouble with my microphones. I switched GoPros because one of my connectors broke. So I had to go and get got a second-hand GoPro, and the microphone wasn't great. So then I had to learn how to, try and research some lapel mics. And I was just like, Oh my God, we're going down the rabbit hole here. But,
and that's how I've ended up here, is that completely down a rabbit hole. It's been good.
It's good. It's a good giggle, but it's the amount of time. It takes. Like to do commentary on one video might take you, and then to put that together might take you 4 hours. For like what could be a 25-minute video, you just go and take 4 hours to do.
So from one recorder to another recorder, if you will, is there anything sort of the community can do to work with us a bit more, or help out, or what things we want to do for the community going forward?
I just want to cover some armories. If I can cover some armories here, it'd be brilliant. If not, if I can get somewhere else, that would be fantastic too. I would say don't be shy about being on the camera. It's just about playing a game. At the end of the day, you know how to play. Don't let the camera try and, intimidate you. It's not there to do that. It's just there for people to learn how to play, to see combos that they might not necessarily see. I mean, I find that when I watch a video, I would prefer to watch a video or watch somebody play and just go, wow, I didn't realise that card interaction worked. And you can pick up so much information.
Yeah, and there's a lot of talk about metas in different countries, in different regions. They reckon at the minute, and I saw you playing this evening, but Bolton Sabres is very big in Europe as a whole, whereas sort of across the continent, across the world, so to say, there you've got Bolton Raiden. That's quite popular.
Or a hybrid.
And Prism in different countries is more used and less used. So, I think in other countries, Bravo is quite well represented, whereas here he seems to be a fringe hero, but he's getting across the line. So, I think that's sort of great.
Yeah, but that's what makes it interesting. So,
and I like Barry's point. Yeah, for people being on camera, it can be quite intimidating. Just treat it as a game if you do get approached. And actually just enjoy it. I mean, people are going to be out there seeing you play and making your big plays, and hopefully smash your opponent in the face with something fantastic that nobody else has ever seen, and actually represent yourself there and what you've built in a deck sort of thing.
Yeah, I would say the only caveat is when you come to being recorded, it is like the 6th or 7th game in the day, and the game is very taxing mentally. So, people are tired, and yes, they're going to miss plays. Yes, they might miss a mask trigger. So you have to understand that when you're watching the game. You might not necessarily, hit everything bang on. But generally, the players that are getting filmed are flipping good players. They've got into a top 8. They know what they're doing. They just might be a bit mentally tired and just skip something. But that's the difference between being a top 8 player and a finalist.
Yes.
Having that mental fortitude to carry on.
To black out everything
Totally.
So, thank you for your time this evening. Thank you for sort of sharing your opinions on Aria and what we do when we're recording games and community out there. So, obviously, if you haven't done already, check out Buzz the Bard. Hopefully, we're doing some more stuff with Barrie in the future. Sort of collaborating with what Barrie records, what I record, and actually the community as a whole, particularly down here in Screw, with all the people that travel around the country and keeping up with their travels. So thanks a lot, cheers, and take care.